But to ensure Bella's safety, they fly her back to Forks, and Bella is looking cooked. Like, she's literally looking like Joe Biden. This girl is dying.
I'm just living that life, classic, but still.
Hey guys, this is my last Twilight YouTube video, and today I'll be recapping Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2. So if you're curious about my unwarranted opinions on these movies, please watch. These movies gagged me, played with me, horrified me, and most definitely almost set me into a downward psychological spiral. They are quite insane, and these movies are not meant to be played with. They're very dangerous pieces of media that show a concerningly positive light on grooming in extreme cases of pro-life agenda. No one warned me about the agenda that was going to be pushed on me for about 4 hours straight, by the way. But they were great movies regardless, and I had fun, and I think we can all accept that. So here's my movie recap of Breaking Dawn Part 1 and Part 2. So, let's get into it.
Leave the children are.
And this movie opens up with yet another Tumblr monologue, this one even more unmemorable than the last one because genuinely there is no significance of what Bella is saying. And then we cut to Jacob getting so mad that he has to strip naked and then run into the woods. Yeah. And though this temper tantrum seems unjust, it's low-key valid because the reason why he's freaking out is because he just got an invitation for Bella's wedding to Edward for the next day. They're actually going through with this shotgun wedding. But it does seem as though Jacob is the only one who's actually pissed about this. Even her father, Charlie Swan, is okay with this. Love how he's the only one who sees this as a concerning thing. Also, they give Alice a new haircut, and yes, it's a gay little pixie haircut. And what about it?
Lesbian. Who the f are you calling a lesbian? Who are you calling a lesbian? That's not shut.
Also, not to rush you, but the wedding is tomorrow, so they kind of Disney fast passed this, and I have a feeling it was to expedite this trip to Freaktown.
I'm serious, and call me mommy.
Oh, yeah.
Call me mommy.
Okay, mommy.
And cut to Edward pulling Bella aside for a little conclave-esque confessional where he's like, hey, my diva, I used to kill men. Granted, they were evil men. They were evil men who were going to kill really good women. And Bella's like, girl, no, like you're fine. Like you're literally just a Luigi Mangione for the vampires. You didn't kill anyone, you just ended up killing evil men. And evil men are not people. And just as this talk about blood sucking turns into another form of sucking, Emmett jumps right through the window and is like, hey guys, sorry for interrupting, but it's your bachelor party, Edward, and you know what Saturdays are for? The boys.
What are Saturdays for?
Sunday, Saturday, Monday.
No, what else are they for?
Saturday.
So I guess we're not going to see them bump uglies just yet, guys. I know, I'm just as sad as you are. But also, how did this human unit get to jump onto the Swan residence without waking up Mr. Swan? Like, I swear Mr. Swan must be on lorazepam, because how are you not waking up to this absolute beast of a human being jumping onto your wall? I swear to God, that is an absent father. Anyways, cut to Bella dreaming about her wedding when she walks up to Edward and she sees that the Volturi are standing right behind him, standing in a pool of blood. Ooh, spooky. It's a dream. Anyways, we now finally get to see Bella getting that mug beaten down for her wedding by her lesbian situationship, Rosalie.
I'm not gay.
And moving on to the wedding, I was actually kind of gagged with the scenery. Like, I fully was expecting Shrek swamp vibes, but instead we got a full 2013 blockbuster epic vibe. And just as the ceremony starts to happen, Anna Kendrick makes a joke that one of them must be pregnant. No, girl, Bella must be pregnant because it's looking like a shotgun wedding. And who else at the age of 17 is getting married to their fellow 17-year-old? You must be having a baby.
Jake Botico, Heart Dee Dee. With a baby. This is my third blanket with this baby's face on it.
Also, Stephanie Meyer, I see you swiping that devious face card over there in the wedding, and honestly, it ain't. The card approved. Also, dude, I just hate weddings. Like, why is Charlie Swan dragging Bella over to Edward as if he's passing her off like a blunt? Like, this is the weirdest thing ever. This is a nightmarish blunt rotation. I'm horrified, in fact. But anyways, the divas end up kissing. And when I say kissing, it's not some Disney movie PG shit. It is real kissing. Like, they might as well be doing a theatrical stage adaptation of 50 Shades of Grey. In front of the family, in front of the whole family, you got your mother and your father standing up there with you, Bella, and you're going to suck face like that. Oh wait, that was just for dramatic effect. Okay, that makes it so much better. They're not doing an OnlyFans performance for their family. So I guess that's kind of good. But while at the wedding, Edward's cousin Irina eventually ruins the vibe because she notices that Bella isn't racist towards werewolves and immediately leaves the party. Right. And then Emmett gets up on stage and manhandles the mic and is like, hey, Bella.
I hope you've gotten enough sleep these last 18 years.
because you won't be getting any more for a while.
Which I get is a vampire joke about how she's never going to sleep again. But every human being in that audience is literally just like, oh, I guess she's getting her vagina ran through like a train station. Like, what am I supposed to take from that, sir? Who asked? Who asked? If I heard this at a wedding, I'd be like, all right, we leaving right now.
Y'all, we leaving right now.
Because this white man literally just got up on stage and started doing stand-up. Sir, you're not at a laugh factory, you're at a wedding. We also get to see everyone in the ceremony do their own little speeches, which honestly feels like Total Drama Island Big Brother vibes, and I'm kind of living for it. They're all great. Especially Bella's mother. That one ate.
Go to sleep.
And I know how to use a gun.
And after all the speeches are done, Edward eventually goes up to Bella and is like, hey girl, I've got a gift for you. So he takes her around back and then he shows her the gift and it's
Jacob!
Oh, this woke propaganda showing us interspecies polyamory. It's freaky. Let me just say it first. It's freaky. I don't like it. You're grooming our kids to think that interspecies polyamory is good. What's going to happen next? You're going to show her actually having sex with him when he's a wolf? Oh, clip that, Fox News. And then Edward just leaves the two of them alone after Bella literally cheated on Edward with Jacob in the last movie.
Oh, okay.
Cool. But we do find out that Bella won't be turned into a vampire until after the honeymoon, which is like very dangerous because as we all know, he literally levitated off the bed with the most Disney movie kiss ever. So what's gonna happen when we upgrade this to some Bridgerton level shit? He's gonna kill her. He's gonna literally throw her through the wall. And along with the incoming threat of vampiric pornography, we also find out that Edward is actually the only one who knows about the location of their honeymoon. Yes, Edward is taking Bella to an undisclosed location, much like the plot of Blink Twice. Girl, you're gonna die, Bella. Every single thing that this girl does scares the shit out of me. Anyways, after this conversation with Jacob, Bella ends up wrapping up the wedding and leaves with Edward at midnight to go to their undisclosed location. So who's excited for this girl to get murdered and eaten like fresh? And I guess the undisclosed location was in Brazil, more specifically an island off the coast of Rio de Janeiro named Renesmee. Yes, Carlisle owns this entire island, and I don't know the legal situation going on behind this because if he has to change his identity every couple years, how does he still have legal ownership of a full island in Brazil? And once in the house, Bella and Edward immediately start flirting with the idea of banging, but instead they decide to go skinny dipping at night in the ocean. Yes, this is the biggest red flag to me because how do you know that Cthulhu isn't sitting underneath the water staring at your shriveled up cold weenie in the old water? You're just okay with it hanging out there? In the ocean, by the way. A shark could even come up there. Cthulhu doesn't have to do it. Anyways, after the skinny dipping, they eventually go to Pound Town, and Bella's canyon isn't the only thing being pounded. Yes, the entire room is pounded to smithereens. Edward, full enraged, rooms the shit out of this place. So when they wake up, this room literally looks like the room of a middle-class white boy with an anger management issue.
One comes down to you!
And due to Edward losing control while taking Bella to Pound Town, Bella has some bruises on her, so Edward vows to never take her to Pound Town again until she turns into a vampire, which pisses Bella off because Bella's like, wow, you gave it to me, and now I'm craving it, and you're never gonna give it to me again. I desire that glow stick, and you're never handing it over until I'm a vampire? This is unfair. And then Bella wakes up from a wet dream, and then cries because she's not getting from Edward. Pause. Were teens really going to the movie theaters to watch this with their parents? Because I'm sitting over here thinking this is pornography. And y'all were watching this in the theaters with your parents? Like, might as well take it one step further and bring out the strap. Oh, okay. Now I'm the villain for saying that? Okay.
You need to leave!
But you want to know what's more villainous than that? Getting your period late. Yeah, Bella is late on her period after one night of banging. But we also get to see Bella growing a little bit of a chub, and Edward is petrified. Edward is petrified of being a teen dad, a 117-year-old dad. Also, at the rate at which this pregnancy is growing, how's Bella not more scared? I would be petrified. This is insane, Bella. You literally have an alien Romulus growing inside of you, and you're not freaked out. Girl, that thing is gonna come crawling out of your vagina. I would be horrified. What are you doing? You need to rush back to Carlisle and have that thing cut out. Thing. Remember that. That's a thing. That's not a baby. And like any sane person, Edward is like, we're gonna get that thing out of you. And Bella takes offense to that because she's like, that thing is not a thing. It's a baby. It's my baby, in fact. And I'm gonna have that baby. I'm in fact going to give birth to this baby on IG Live. So what about it? Bella, you're having a vampire baby. That's not a baby, that's a thing. Edward is right. Its pronouns are it and thing. But to ensure Bella's safety, they fly her back to Forks, and Bella is looking cooked. Like, she's literally looking like Joe Biden. This girl is dying. And somehow the group is split on whether or not Bella should get rid of the thing or keep it alive, which is honestly insane. Like, this movie isn't just a teen romance movie, it is full on a political movie, and the only plan they can come up with for saving Bella is to turn her into a vampire right after she gives birth to the baby, which is like, I get it, but that's like a really slim chance of actually saving her. And we all know that, so why are we even taking the chance? And due to Bella's pregnancy being so unique and insanely dangerous, the werewolf pack is actually very concerned about it and want to kill all of the Cullens, kill Bella, and kill the baby, but Jacob disagrees with this, so he's like, I just want to kill the baby, keep the Cullens alive, definitely keep Bella alive, so I'm leaving y'all. So Jacob leaves the group and he brings along Leah and Seth with him, and they protect the Cullen home while the werewolf pack surrounds the Cullen house. So the Cullens are low-key on house arrest and can't leave. And then we cut back to Bella, and her condition is worsening. She looks much worse. She went from looking like Joe Biden to full-on Gollum core. Like, she is ugly as right now, and the solution that they come up with to save her is to feed her blood, because if it's a vampire baby girl, it's gonna want blood, so they feed it blood in the form of a slushy noobs of sorts.
I know freaking judo.
Oh, and let's also not forget about Charlie Swan. Charlie Swan has been hitting Bella's line every day because he's like, girl, where did you go? Where did you go? And Bella comes back with, oh, I'm in Switzerland. What? Bella, what? That's the best lie you could come up with? It literally sounds like you got human trafficked. And then all of a sudden, Edward hears a thought from the baby inside of Bella's womb. So now Edward's really into the idea of this baby coming out because he's like, well, it's thinking, so therefore it's my baby. Girl. Also, I fear I'm not properly equipped to be talking about the consciousness of babies inside of wombs. I fear that's mainly for the political commentators like Hassan Piker. In addition to this, Bella decides to list all of the possible baby names she has, and for the men she says EJ. And you want to know what that stands for? Edward Jacob. Bella, that's not even a name. I couldn't make that up if I wanted to. This is literally a Tumblr ship of a name. And then for a girl, it's Renesmee, which I admit, Renesmee is kind of pretty. Renesmee is a better name than that. But then we find out that Renesmee is actually a play on Esme, the mother of the house. You're that stupid that you can't come up with a name. And then Bella drops her slushie and she goes straight into labor, and she is ready to shoot this fun-sized diva out now. So Edward picks Bella up, throws her on a slab, stabs into her with morphine full-on Pulp Fiction style, cuts her open, does a C-section, fingers around, picks up the baby, and then calls it Renesmee because it's the girl. Are you joking? Are you f***ing joking? You're gonna make me watch a C-section Grey's Anatomy style plot in this movie? This was body horror. And then Edward's attention shifts over to the baby while Bella is bleeding out on the table. Edward, what are you doing? You should be biting her and turning into a vampire. Like, he sits there for like 20 seconds just staring at the baby while his wife actively bleeds out. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh my god, I forgot. And so he starts biting her all over, but it's not doing anything. And now she's dead. And then we cut to Jacob prowling around the house looking for the baby, and then we see the baby's face. And that is not a baby. That is an AI face app Tumu ass baby. Like, that baby's face card is declining heavily. That thing is so strange looking, and its head is shrunken. It literally has a shrunken head syndrome. But with all this freakiness attached to it, Jacob still looks at that baby and imprints on it like any normal human being would do. He imprints on this baby. He full on looks at it and is like, yeah, you know what? I need that baby. I need that baby in a romantic sense. What are you talking about? Like, I thought Edward was the one we had to watch out for. Turns out it was Jacob this entire time. But because Jacob imprinted on the baby, they're not allowed to kill the baby. So this entire B plot is essentially eliminated right away. And then we cut back to Bella's corpse, still sitting on that same slab, but instead of wearing her normal outfit, she's wearing a cute blue dress, which is honestly kind of giving Hazel Grace's blue dress in The Fault in Our Stars. But this corpse really isn't a corpse because we start seeing the color return back to Bella, and then we start seeing her look as though she's got a beauty filter on. And then everyone starts to notice that a new bombshell has entered the villa. And then Bella's eyes open. Those little red orbs are staring right back at us. Yes, Bella is a vampire now. And then the movie ends. And even though that's the end of Breaking Dawn Part 1, I'm not finishing this video right there because we're going to do Breaking Dawn Part 2 right now because I am done with these 2010 YA novels being turned into 2 movies for 1 book because there was not that much going on in either parts. Like, let's be real about that. It's quite simple. It's a simple plot. It's the same thing that they did with Mockingjay Part 1 and Part 2. Mockingjay did not deserve that. Mockingjay would have been a great movie as 1 movie, but I digress. Here is Breaking Dawn Part 2.
You imprinted on my daughter? She's mine!
Now, Breaking Dawn Part 2 picks up exactly where Breaking Dawn Part 1 left off, with Bella waking up on the slab, looking as though she's got some LASIK eye surgery, because now she can see absolutely everything happening inside the room, especially Edward pitching a little tent as he watches his girlfriend get up off the slab, full Frankenstein core. So, after bearing witness to Edward's little rocket launch, Bella walks right over to him and starts perving off with Edward. Yes! But with her newfound vampiric powers, Bella has turned from a Mary Sue to the dummy mommy that Edward has always wanted.
And call me mommy.
And after this horny encounter, the happy couple decide to go on a little feast because Bella needs to eat something, and Bella sets her sights on a human man, but instead goes for a little bit of a mountain lion feast. So we're all happy she's not killing people. And once she's done being the apex predator, she returns to the Cullen home, where she is greeted by a Rosemary's Baby procession of people, and then she sees the baby. And once again, I do have to remind myself that I was expecting the Renesmee that the internet warned me about, the AI looking melting baby that was advertised to me, and then now I'm being greeted by this little Temu face app baby. Like, I'm sorry, but I really do believe that this is where the war on AI began. Like, that baby, it's a soldier for the AI war. But I guess the baby even has a face that a mother can love, because Bella walks over, picks it up, and is like, wow, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And then she gets a vision put into her mind, placed in by the baby. This baby has the power to use mind control powers over its own mother at the fetus age. The devil is in my baby.
Let's just say the devil made me do it.
Also, the baby's growth rate is insanely quick. Like, this baby is 2 days away from being an iPad baby. Like, this is crazy shit. And then we see Jacob getting a little bit defensive about Bella touching the baby.
That's enough experimenting for one day.
Which is like, that's her baby. That is her baby. She is the mother of this home. But then Jacob reveals, I've imprinted on her. And Bella freaks out. Rightfully so, because he just admitted that he has a crush on her newborn baby. Prison. I know I've said it millions of times again. So Bella decides to grab him by the back of his neck and throw him out of the front door of the home. Thank God.
You nicknamed my daughter after the Loch Ness Monster?
That line deserves to be etched into the Rosetta Stone. That line deserves to be on the first page of the Bible. That line went triple platinum in the Tumblr days. But this fight eventually resolves absolutely nothing because she allows Jacob to sleep inside the Cullen home later that night.
You're going to jail!
This is like when your family member invites the felon in the making cousin to sleep over or go to the cookout, because that man is going to do something criminal.
You're not going to jail. You're going to prison.
Also, now it's Bella's birthday, and guess what she gets gifted from the Cullens for her birthday? A full house. Yeah, a whole house. Okay, and you know what? Yeah, I'm mad, because I am watching an 18-year-old get gifted a full home while I'm quite literally getting to experience one of the worst housing crises in recent history. Yeah, I'm mad. Also, this home is so beautiful, it is fully picked out of a lesbian's cottagecore mood board on Pinterest. Like, trust and believe, I want that home so bad, but then this entire swagger is eradicated once they step inside, because the interior of this home is giving 2000s Jersey Shore interior design, and I say that with a derogatory connotation. But like usual, the freaks are magnetically drawn to the bedroom, and Edward makes a joke about how the bed isn't meant for sleeping. I am done with this sinister, horny attitude from him. I think this is freaky, and I think you might as well go to prison, because I'm extremely uncomfortable by this behavior, sir. So as usual, they start getting into it, but this time with Bella's newfound power, Bella decides, oh, I want a top. So she starts pegging that man from the back of the bus, and I'm proud of her for that. Cut to the Cullen household, where Charlie Swan is actually calling for Bella because he's like, hey girl, where are you? I'm worried you've been human trafficked and I don't want you to die. But none of the Cullens pick up because no one wants to have to lie to him about Bella dying, because once they do that, they know they'll have to move. So Charlie just gets to think that his daughter's out there in the middle of Switzerland doing a wilderness retreat. But Jacob finds out that the Cullens are eventually going to have to move, which immediately makes him spring into action because he does not want to move away from his child bride. So Jacob goes straight to Charlie Swan's house. And once Jacob arrives at the Swan residence, Jacob is like, hey, Bella is actually fine. She's living in the Cullen house. Do not worry about her at all. So Charlie's like, wait, why don't we just go over there now? Jacob's like, just wait, sir. I've got something to show you. And then he starts stripping naked as if he's doing a Magic Mike performance in the middle of the woods to his Grindr date. And Charlie Swan is freaked out by this too. Charlie Swan's like, you're 16, sir. What are you doing? But Jacob proceeds. But then Jacob shifts the vibe completely and turns into a werewolf. And let me tell you, the only person who's getting turned on by that is a former Animal Jam player. And after this Anora level striptease, Jacob goes over to the Cullen house and is like, hey guys, so I just solved your problem. And Mr. Swan is going to be over here in 10 minutes. So Bella, you got to relearn how to be human, put those human contacts in, and say hello to your father. Dark-sided behavior from you, Jacob. You just put this entire family in jeopardy. just so you can keep a hold of your child bride. Eventually, Charlie pulls up and everything's completely fine. No one wants to kill him. No one wants to do anything. No one wants to crush him like a Danimal's crush cup. Vibes are great.
I crush the tiki.
And because Charlie adjusts to this whole weird cult vibe pretty well, Edward's like, hey, you know what? I'm going to add on to the weird vibes and bring out Renesmee. Here is our adoptive baby, which Charlie immediately clocks because he's like, girl, that baby's got Bella's eyes. But they just kind of smirk and laugh it off, which is like, that's weird. Also, aren't they going to run into the problem of the baby growing up super quickly, so everyone in the town is going to be like, wait, Bella has a 2-year-old? Oh wait, no, Bella's 2-year-old is actually 3 years old. Oh wait, no, Bella's 3-year-old is actually a 16-year-old now. Anyways, the Volturi eventually find out that Bella's been turned into a vampire and they accept her vampire status, so I guess everything's completely peaceful right now. Oh wait, actually things aren't going that great, because you remember the racist red-pilled werewolf-hating vampire Irina from the wedding? Yeah, she actually catches Renesmee flying in the middle of the woods. Yeah, she can fly apparently, and she is gagged. Not in a good way, she's more like, oh, this is demonic. That little baby is the devil. And Irina wants to get rid of this baby, so she goes to the Volturi, meets up with Aro. Aro touches her, sees the baby, and he's like, oh my darling, and oh my darling indeed. That's a weird baby. Whose god baby is that?
Say hi, Daddy. Say hi, Daddy.
Hi, Daddy.
Whose god baby is that?
And then Alice interrupts this with a vision of a full-on vampire civil war between the Volturi and the Cullen family. So everything isn't going great because everyone thinks that the baby Renesmee is actually an immortal child because, well, she's a baby vampire. And immortal children are children who are turned into vampires, and because they're kids, they can throw a temper tantrum and kill like an entire town. So yeah. Also, would the modern day version of an immortal child literally just be like an iPad baby? Like, would they kill an entire town because they couldn't watch Cocomelon? Also, the reason why Irina was so keen on tattletaling was because her mother was actually killed for raising an immortal child, which I guess makes sense that she wants to kill this immortal child because it's a part of her history. But like, girl, did you really need to go to the vampire cops? Racist. But after this insane lore drop from Alice and Jasper literally just dip off the face of the earth. Like, they completely vanish. No one knows where they went. But while Alice is gone, the rest of the family goes on a Trolls World Tour kind of situation. And they go around the world trying to convince a bunch of vampires that Renesmee is not actually an immortal child, and in fact, maybe the future of vampiric existence. They're kind of doing the Mormon door-to-door salesman kind of thing.
I am not stupid. I am not ugly. I am not fat. I'm not all those things. Because I am divine.
Also, peep the Volvo car ad. Like, this car is everywhere in this movie, like point blank in center. You see this brand logo all over it because I guess no one wanted to fund the last Twilight movie. And it's kind of reminding me of the Chevrolet car ad in the Barbie movie or the Lincoln car ad in the Batman movie. Thank you, Volvo, for funding Breaking Dawn Part 2. We wouldn't be here without you. We then come back to the Cullen house where we find out that Bella's powers are actually to shield people, which is so boring, so basic, and so stupid. Like, she just literally can shield other people from vampiric powers. So I guess she's just kind of a super condom. Thank you, Bella, for being a super condom for my Magnum Dong.
I dropped my monster condom that I used for my Magnum Dong.
Cut to Bella in her cottagecore house where she looks at the note that Alice left, which is written in a page which has been ripped out of a book from her shelf. So she goes to her shelf to find the book, opens it to the random ripped out page, and there is a note telling her to see Jay Jenkins in Seattle. And Alice made sure to do this because she knew that Bella would be the only one to find out, and if Bella is the only one that can find out, that means Aro cannot find out, because Aro cannot access the mind of Bella because of her shield. Alice was thinking 3 steps ahead. Cut to Bella going to Seattle to meet up with this Jay Jenks guy, and when she gets to Seattle, she meets him at a restaurant, and he's just some human guy who deals with vampiric politics and their law documents, I guess. I really don't know what his vibe is, but I know he does stuff for Alice and Jasper. But he pulls out this pamphlet for Bella, and Bella opens it, and it turns out to have 2 things inside of it. One passport for Renesmee and another passport for Jacob. And these 2 documents are for backup just in case the little vampiric civil war goes wrong and the 2 of them need to escape together. Because for some reason Alice believes that Jacob and Renesmee together would make a better team than Bella and Renesmee. The 2 of them don't need to be together forever. It needs to be mother-daughter, not daughter and some creepy ass uncle. Cut to Bella and the rest of the Cullen family waiting as the Volturi walk over to them, and this takes forever. Why is Renesmee on the front lines of the battlefield? Could she not have stayed home? There are phones in this universe. You could have been like, hey girl, we're losing this fight. Sorry. You're going to Canada. And once the Volturi are at the front lines, they immediately request for Renesmee to be brought up to Aro. And just the sight of Renesmee makes Aro pull this freak move. What was that? And then it's revealed that that freak move by Aro was actually due to the fact that he could hear her heartbeat. Okay. So if she's clearly human, call it the fight. The fuck? And with this confirmation that Renesmee is actually part human, the Volturi are now pissed because they cannot start a fight, but they decide that they still want to have some drama, so they kill Irina instead. Okay, that kind of gagged. Okay, I did want that girl to die. Okay, she was annoying me, but at the same time, it's like, I guess she was racist, but like, did she deserve to die? And this is interrupted by Alice and Jasper walking out of the middle of nowhere, lip syncing for their life as they walk over to Aro. And then Alice holds hands with Aro and shows him the future. And Aro's like, girl, that is not my future. That is propaganda. I don't want to be Alice pilled. So he decides to put both her and Jasper in a headlock, Imogen Heap style. And then, right after that, he immediately kills Carlisle, which leads to the vampires beginning their civil war. In this civil war, Jasper dies, Rami Malek pulls a Britney Spears and breaks the ice, Leo falls into hell, Alice murders the child star Dakota Fanning, Vecna is killed, and Bella finally finishes it off by killing Aro. But then it's revealed that this was all a part of Alice's vision that she was showing Aro, so we just wasted 15 minutes just to show me a what would you do scenario John Quinones style? What? Alice, I'm low-key pissed at you. Or at least the filmmakers, like literally you just wasted my time.
Pretty much I will let Gemma know that she is a fat
We then have another lip sync for your life when a mother-son duo come out of the middle of the woods and it's these two Brazilian people and we're all like, who the f is that? And then it's revealed that the son is actually half human, half vampire, and he's just like Renesmee, except he's finally stabilized. And after 7 years of growing, he's gotten to the max age he's going to be, and he's literally just going to be immortal at that age forever. So it's proven that she is not an immortal child, and she will in fact be safe for everyone. So the fight is called off and peace is restored. But Jacob eventually ruins this peace by looking over Edward and says,
"Should I start calling you Dad?"
Huh? You're gonna call him what? You're gonna call him what now? Oh, Dad. I'm gonna act like I've never heard that before. I'm gonna act like I never heard you say anything like that, Jacob, because what? And to add on to the child bride vibes of it all, we get to see Edward, Bella, Renesmee, and Jacob going on a double date on the beach, which is like, oh my god. This studio literally just greenlit this grooming situation. Did no one have the foresight to think that maybe this wasn't okay? Maybe it's not okay for this man to literally raise this baby from the ground up in hopes of marrying her. That's your daughter, Bella. That is your daughter. Oh my god. Like, bruh. Anyways, we cut to Bella and Edward in the middle of that prairie, always in that god prairie, but we get to see Bella open up the shield of her mind to show Edward her thoughts, which is like, Kita, how are you doing that?
Kita, how are you doing that?
But once inside of Bella's mind, you would think that it's just a library of horny fan fiction, but it's not. It actually is a cute little Pinterest mood board of all the good things that have happened in their relationship, only infected a little bit by the perviness of Bella's thoughts. And then they make out and the movie's over. Twilight is done. I cannot believe that I just watched Twilight. Like actually, I did not expect me, Zach, to have watched Twilight from beginning to end and enjoyed it at that. Like, this is actually a really good series. Anyone who hasn't watched Twilight, please go and watch it. It's a really good movie. Like, I loved it, except the last two movies, because I was like, y'all, you are pushing an agenda on me and I'm not having fun. Like, this is weird, like really weird. But other than the agenda pushing, like, trust and believe, you will be entertained. You will be entertained by this, okay? I'm currently trying to figure out what my next video is going to be about. I'm thinking it's either going to be Shrek or the Hunger Games series. I really don't know which one to pick. Also, if you haven't gone to watch my podcast, please go and watch it if you just want more of me. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, like, do your thing, make the video blow up, do your big one. And yeah, have a good day.